Chair Smith, Ranking Member Thornberry, distinguished members of the committee, thank you very much for the opportunity to testify today on this year's National Defense Authorization Act. And I do so representing Hawaii, a proud partner in the Indo-Pacific. And to put this in perspective, if you get on a plane today and fly to Hawaii, that's 5,000 miles. If you get on a plane then and fly from Hawaii to Beijing, that's another 5,000 miles. So that will give you a sense of the not only the distances we're talking about in the Indo-Pacific, but the placement of Hawaii. So in Hawaii, we live and breathe the Pacific, always have and always will. The National Security Strategy and National Defense Strategy affirmed the reemergence of long-term strategic competition with other great powers as a central challenge to our national security. I think most of us can now agree that no country poses as significant a long-term challenge and threat to us as does China. Thus, the NDAA, as our annual blueprint for the Department of Defense and our military, should reflect the strategic interests of the U.S. has in the Indo-Pacific region generally and China specifically. Our goal, as summarized by this administration's free and open Indo-Pacific strategy, with which I generally agree, is to peacefully address China's rise and bring it into the existing regional architecture of free and open navigation, interconnected trade and development, security cooperation, and international institutions. The purpose of a strong military posture in the Indo-Pacific is not to seek conflict or escalate competition with China, but to raise the costs and international consequences of Chinese aggression and reassure allies and partners of our engagement in this critical region. U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, Indo-PACOM, headquartered in Hawaii, is charged with addressing our military challenges in the Indo-Pacific. It is the largest combatant command in terms of area of responsibility and assets, stretching from the west coast of the United States mainland to the west coast of India. But it requires additional resources. Reports of forces in the region being overworked from high demand and struggling with readiness from deferred maintenance are simply unacceptable. This year's NDAA should continue a long-term strategy for Indo-PACOM to reach its goals in deployed forces and readiness, especially in air and naval assets. We need to continue supporting improvements in doctrine, assets, and technology to counter China's aggressive military and soft power buildup. I urge the committee to continue investing in research and development of these technologies to address these risks. Hawaii is of particular importance to our Indo-Pacific strategy. Hawaii offers an indispensable forward position in the Pacific, is home to Indo-PACOM headquarters and commands for every service, and maintains a large military presence. We need increased investment in our military construction needs there, including the Hawaii Infrastructure Readiness Initiative, our shipyard and training ranges to improve our readiness in the Indo-Pacific. Even with increased investment in improving our military posture in the Indo-Pacific, the U.S. cannot go it alone in the region. Peacefully integrating China into the existing rules-based regional order requires the active cooperation of partner countries. The vast geographic space that needs to be covered in the Indo-Pacific demands reliance on our allies there. We need to reassure our traditional treaty allies, such as Japan, South Korea, Australia, the Philippines, and Thailand, while building relationships with partners and potential partners like India and Vietnam. I also want to ask that this committee pay special attention to the Pacific Island countries such as Vanuatu, the Federated States of Micronesia, and Palau, to name only a few. They are critical to our overall posture in the Pacific and simply need much more attention from both a military and a State Department foreign aid perspective for our overall strategy. In conclusion, I urge this committee to ensure this year's NDAA reflects the strategic importance of Hawaii and the entire Indo-Pacific. We must enhance our military posture there and continue building alliances and partnerships in the region. Thank you for your consideration and hard work in advancing our country's national security.
Thank you. Mr.